Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. Fantastic to have you here because today we're continuing to work on my first ever folding knife. We're making a friction folder and it's now time to pull the blade and the spacer out of the sodium hydroxide. We're going to polish it up with some 2000 grit sandpaper. It's going to look beautiful. And so let's get straight to it. Oh, this is exciting. That pattern looks beautiful. It's so fine. It's just, oh, it's so nice. I really am just thrilled with the contrast in both these pieces. Really thrilled with how it turned out. And really thrilled because, of course, as it's now the 1st of January for me, it's a little bit later for you, reflecting on the last year and where it is that I've come in the year in terms of my ability to work in this craft and be able to make blades, for example. I'm really, really excited about how my ability to pay attention to the details in these projects has increased, and really excited about how my confidence with making this stuff has increased. Because let me tell you, I'm just having a blast making this, and I certainly know that a year ago I would not have been able to do this project justice. But speaking of doing this project justice, I should probably keep cracking on, and cracking on is what we're going to do. Of course, not really fitting for it to be drill bits that allow this to function. We're going to head into the lathe and do a little bit of turning and try and work out how it is that we can make the pivot pin. Okay, so after some thinking, show some thinking please, Jamie, thank you very much. This is what I've come up with for the hardware that I need for the pivot itself. Essentially, I have one whatchamawatsit with the female M3 3mm thread, and then one male whatchamadoodah with a male M3 thread. And I've made sure that I've got all the measurements that I need and the calculations to know exactly how it is that I've got to make the stuff. So hopefully it all fits together well, and means that we'll be able to tighten it to the perfect amount of tightness that this thing needs for the friction that it is that it wants. And hopefully it's also then going to stay in place and not come apart. I'll probably be using some Loctite to help keep it together once I got the right amount of friction. And so I've got this piece of 10mm round 1040 steel. Is there any need for it to be 1040 steel? No, I don't think so. However, we got it, so we may as well use it. Give us a little extra strength on those threads so we can tighten it to whatever tightness we need. It's a very, very small thread that we're going to be making. I've got it in the lathe. I'm going to make sure to run some nice high RPMs. I'm going to turn this down to 6mm in diameter first. Then we're going to turn down to 4.2mm, drill a hole, yada, 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 all that fun stuff. So let's get to it. Well, rats, it looks like I did not pay enough attention when I was threading that, and I have cross-threaded it in the first half of this. So, time to start again and make a new one. And just like that, magic, we've got it made again. That little end piece will get ground off and then it's going to go in the mill for us to cut a slot for it. For now, however, I've pulled the piece of 10mm round out of the chuck. I'm going to face it off again, do a little bit of a whatchamadoodah, turn it down some, then put some threads on it, cut it off, and we'll then be able to head into the milling machine. Oh yes, that is freaking exciting. I've never done anything that small and that fine and that intricate. I'm shocked. This is a thrill. Holy moly! Right, let's cut this off. Okay, so here's where we are. That threads in nicely. However, of course, we have not end milled in the 1.5mm deep whatchamadoodah, the hole that's going to be in both sides of these plates. I'm going to be saving that for when I end mill in this too, because naturally, us having a pocket knife with a drill bit stuck in it is probably not going to be the best thing in the world in terms of, you know, good ergonomic EDC carry. And so, we also need to make up our spacer. We're going to make it very similar to what it is that we've just made. I'm going to alter the measurements, and instead of that being an M3 screw, it is going to be an M2. Yes, that's right. I have to make something with a 2mm thread on it. Holy moly, this is indeed a challenge. Turned hardware is complete. What a blast that was, using the lathe on such precise work. Now, the one problem with it is there's going to be no way to tighten it as is, and that is where this comes into play. Now, you might well remember the last time that I used a slitting saw, which is one of these devilish creations. Didn't go so well. Problem with that is, my arbor even got messed up. I actually only just spotted that. So, there's a very high probability of going terribly. The other problem is, oh my goodness, did I mess that up? Oh, buddy. Yeah, I messed that up big time. So when the last slitting saw broke, it ripped off. With all the friction, it ripped off material from the arbor itself, which is astonishing, but is also very bad because now I don't have a functional arbor. Well, I tell you what, I think I might just be lucky enough that I'd be able to whittle it down a little bit and have it still work. So I'm going to quickly pop this in the lathe. Not so thrilled about doing that. I've got to hold the thing way back out in the middle of nowhere here. Don't want to grip it too hard because I don't want to damage it. Get this changed over. All right, let's see what we can do. Oh, hello. Hello. I missed out on something pretty important. Ooh, now of course this was turned. And whoever had the smart idea of turning this thing, or programming a machine to turn it, had the smart idea to put a little bit of a doodah for a live center. Which means that I can make sure that this thing is running as close to completely concentric as possible. All right, let's see what we can do. Okie dokie. Get a little chamferoonie on there. Okay, great. So we've got this sorted, but this is no use if I can't hold these ridiculously tiny little bits somehow in the mill horizontally so that blade can come across them perfectly in the middle without these things like getting caught and flying across the workshop. Tell you, it is a miracle that I have not lost one of these permanently yet. But it's gonna be a miracle if I know how to do this. I think I've got an idea. Right, so if I have a piece of steel, I drill perfectly in the center of said piece of steel 1, 2, 3, and 4 holes. This piece of steel gets held in the vise sideways. I can insert those little buttons into the hole, and provided they're secure, I can run the slitting saw straight across the middle once I index the center of the piece. The problem is, how do I hold them? Super glue is the answer. Yes, that is right. Because I'm planning to be going in the middle, there shouldn't be any torsional forces on the little buttons themselves. The forces should only be side to side. So, I can put the buttons straight into the holes with super glue, make sure the super glue sets, go right across the middle of the workpiece, perfectly hitting every single one of the 4 button heads. Oh, yes. Once I have that fantabulously perfect 0.5mm to 1mm 1mm deep groove running across them all. Then once I've got the slot perfect, go into the forge, heat it up a little bit, super glue bond breaks, take it apart, boom, got a slot in it. That is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so I have the holes ready. Of course, we have our super glue. It's time to lose some flesh. You've never used super glue if you don't know about losing flesh with super glue. Super gluing item number 1 into the hole as well. Ow! My fingers! Ow, 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 ow! There we go. Now it's flush. Oh, tweezers. That would be so much better. Item number 2. Oh, don't tell me the hole isn't deep enough. Yeah, I don't think the hole is deep enough. I need to re-drill the second hole. For now, let me get this one ready. In we go with number 3 and number 4. No, it's sunk. No, no, come back. No, 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 no. Yes, it came out. The benefits of spilling super glue everywhere. Need to drill this hole deeper. Don't need a clamp. There we go. Much better. No, I can't get it out. Come on now. Okay, I messed it up pretty bad. It's stuck there. It's down deep below. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my pass here with the cutter, and we're gonna hit the 3 that are on the surface, and then heat it up, break the bond of the super glue. Hopefully magnet will get it all out, and then re-super glue it, and then do that last one again. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to call it there for today's episode, so make sure you hit subscribe so you can follow along. Tomorrow we're going to be finishing this folding knife. Make sure you drop a like, leave us a comment. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.